week in this session, okay? So all of this semester we have stories. Today and next week, next Friday will be the last stories. Then we will stop in the winter break. We might have a course or something in the winter break. Then we'll see like what will happen next semester, okay? So I have two stories about being good to the parents. One of these stories is someone who's extremely good, very, 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 very good, excellent to his mother. The other story is about parents, especially a father, who loved his son so much. Which story you would like to take today and which story next week? Both of them about how to be good to your parents and the relation between the child and the father, or the child and his mother. So the first one again, someone who was very good to his mother to the point that he did not migrate to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his name is Uwais al-Qarni. The second one, someone who was very good to his parents, and his father was attached to him, but he left his father for a good cause. So which story you would like to start with this week? The second? The second? The second? Okay, Umayyah ibn Askar al-Kinani. Agree, everyone? The story of Umayyah ibn Askar al-Kinani with Umar ibn al-Khattab. Okay? It happened at the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, this story. Okay? There was a young man who was very good to his parents. Very, 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 very good to his parents, so much. Okay? And his name is Umayyah. Okay? Ibn Askar al-Kinani. Ibn Askar al-Kinani. And he was also good in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All kinds of ibadah he does. Every time he learns something new about Islam, he goes and he do it. For example, he learns a hadith or something about praying at night. Qiyam al-Layl. He goes and he does it. He hears about giving charity to the poor. He goes and he do it. He hears about being kind to animals. Goes and he does something kind to animals. Being good to neighbors. He goes and he does something good to parents. So every good deed he hears about, he tries always to do it. Until one day, he met two of the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he asked them about the good deeds that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam would advise them to do. Okay, so he asked Jabir ibn Abdullah and another Sahabi. He says, what good deeds? They told him, you do fasting. He says, I did that. You do be good to your parents. He said, I'm good to my parents. Give charity. He said, I did that. This. Then finally they told him, one of the good deeds is being what you call it, protecting Muslims. So one of the good deeds is protecting Muslims. You go to the borders and you stand at night protecting Muslims. Kind of security for Muslims on the borders. Okay? Because there is a hadith that عَيْنَانِ لَا تَمَسَّهُمُ النَّارِ, that there are two eyes that will not be tortured by the fire at all. Allah will protect them from Jahannam. And one of them, عَيْنٌ بَكَتْ مِنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ, an eye that cried out of the khashya of Allah, being conscious and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the other one, عَيْنٌ بَاتَتْ تَحْرُسُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, an eye that was protecting the lions and the Muslims at night without sleeping. So Umayyah ibn Askar al-Kinani, he decided to go and help Muslims be secured and protect Muslims. He went to Umar ibn Khattab. He went to Umar ibn Khattab, who was the leader of Muslims, and he asked him, will you give me a permission that I go as a security to protect Muslims? And Umar ibn Khattab asked him, do you have parents who are still alive? And he says, yes, both parents are alive. He says, do they have someone else to serve them? Do they give you a permission to go? He says, no one to serve them, but we have neighbors and we have relatives, but no one inside the house. and a permission. They did not give me a permission, but I can seek their permission. He went to his parents and he asked them for a permission. He says, I want to go very far to the borders of Muslims in order to protect them. And Umar al-Khattab told me that I have to take your permission. In the beginning, the parents said, no, we don't have anyone to help. They are getting older, and he was the only child. He kept begging them, crying, kissing their heads, their legs. He kept begging them until finally his parents agreed, but they were not 100% agreeing. Just they told them, okay, you can go. But inside their hearts, they want their son to stay with them because he was a good son. He went to Umar al-Khattab and he told them, my parents give them permission. So yes, I can go. Are you sure? Did your parents give you the permission? He said yes. And he was truthful. He will never tell a lie. He said, yes, they gave me the permission. Then Umar al-Khattab said, okay, go to that area to protect Muslims. He went. But the father and the mother, now the house is empty. And they're sitting the whole day and nobody to serve them. So everything became difficult for them. In the beginning, they asked some of the neighbors to help them. Okay, we need some water. They would bring water from a well or something. And they help them. We need someone to bring something from the market to buy for us. We need something like that. They asked some people to help and they helped them. But they felt uneasy that they keep asking people. They started doing things by themselves and it became difficult. And their son is very far. Sounds good so far? Understand the situation? So what happened? The father started crying and the mother, but the father more. Crying. He started remembering his son who was very good to him. When he goes to the masjid, he carries his shoes for him. He prepares a donkey if there is a need to go. He helps him every way possible. Even before his father ask for something, he will do it. He knows his father's routine and he will do it. Okay? So what happened? He started crying. One day he was outside in the backyard of his house and he saw a bird coming with 2 chicks in a nest. 2 chicks, little chicks in a nest. And the bird came and started feeding the 2 chicks. So the father and the mother, they remembered in the old days when they used to feed their son who was a baby. Now the son is getting older and he is feeding them back, right? Because his father doesn't carry stuff properly. So he prepares the food and he helps his father. So the father started crying. And he was a poet. And poetry is very powerful if somebody says it in the right way. So the father started crying and he started saying in his poetry that every time I see a pigeon or a bird, I remember my son, what's his name? Umayyah ibn Askar al-Kinani. And he left me alone and he traveled and I am here alone by myself. If he wants the ajr and the reward, because he wants the hasanat, right? If he wants the ajr and the reward, he should stay with parents who are very old and their hands are shaking, instead of leaving me alone and going very far. Sounds good? Then days passed. After a few days, then he became the father very frustrated and angry because his son left him alone. Because he wanted to go to the masjid and nobody to help him. He wanted to do this and that. So the father now cannot do many things that he used to do with the help of his son. He became very angry that his son left him. And he wanted Allah to punish someone for that. And he wanted to make dua, oh Allah, punish my son. But his son, he loved his son so much and he was good to him. So instead of making dua that Allah will punish his son, he made dua against who? Guess? Who sent his son very far and permitted him to go very far? Umar al-Khattab. Right? Because Umar al-Khattab sent him, he took a permission from the parents, then Umar al-Khattab allowed him. So he started, raising his hand and doing, some poetry, saying, Allah, punish Umar if he is not going to bring my son back to me. Okay? And he kept crying until what happened to his sight? He couldn't see anymore. He became blind, the father. He became blind, cannot see. This is like the father of Sayyidina Yusuf, right? Yusuf, Prophet Yaqub, he kept crying over his son and until what happened? Until he became blind. So the father became blind and he repeats this poetry oh Allah, punish Umar if he doesn't bring my son back to me. Umar ibn Khattab. One day, one of his relatives heard him saying this dua against Umar ibn Khattab. So he took him, he said, come with me. And he said, I'll take you on a tour a little bit, to walk around. And he took him, and he saw Umar sitting with some people. So he took the old man, and he put him, he said, sit here. And he sat there. And he told him, oh, Abu Umayyah, give me some poetry. Can you sing for us some poetry? Can you recite for us some poetry? And what poetry in his mind and on his tongue is the dua that I miss my son, and if he wants the ajr and the reward from Allah, he should be here. And Umar is the one who sent him. If Umar is not bringing him back, oh Allah punish Umar ibn Khattab for it. Al-Faruq, Al-Umar Faruq. And Umar ibn Khattab was shocked. Like, who's this old man making dua against me? Wants Allah to punish me? Like, who's that? And they told him, this is the father of Umayyah bin Askar al-Kinani. He says, why? He said, because you sent his son very far. He said, but his son took a permission. They say, he just gave him the permission when he, his son, kept begging him. And couldn't say no. So Umar ibn Khattab decided immediately to bring the son back to his father. Okay? So he asked them to bring him quickly on the horses of the male. In the old days, they used to have males, right? Carrying from this location to this location to this location. And they used to have multiple horses here and camels and multiple horses and camels. So instead of traveling and the camel becomes tired or the horse becomes tired, they have multiple. So they have the message and the letter carried quickly. So each horse will take you maybe 10 miles, then it stops, then another horse running, carrying the message. Somebody's carrying, riding it to the next station. He said, they bring Umayyah bin Askar al-Kinani quickly. Umar ibn Khattab, he sent the message, he said, quickly bring. Until he was brought back. Okay? They brought him to Umar ibn Khattab. When he looked at him, he's a wise, good, son who wants to do good. He told him, Umar ibn Khattab, your father is attached to you and you left him here. Why your father loves you? And he said, I do everything my parents ask me to do, as long as it is halal and not haram. I do it for them and it is not wrong. He said, Umar, okay, what else? Can you tell me more? He says, even if before my father asked me for something, I would do it. Before my parents ask me for something, I would do it. Now let me ask you, those who are sitting here, raise your hand if you do everything your parents ask you to do. Raise your hand. Okay. Raise your hand if you do everything your parents love before they ask you to do it. Okay. Raise your hand if you do things that your parents like before they ask. Not everything, but many things that your parents love and you do it before they ask you, before they tell you. You take a trash out, for example. You study, you do salah. If you do many of these things without even they ask you, you do it. Okay, one, mashallah. So we have good examples here. You do things even before your parents ask you to do. You know that this is good. My parents will do. Okay, that's good. Good sign. So, Umayyah bin Askar al-Kinani, he would do everything his parents like before they ask for it. This is very, very, very powerful, right? It's very challenging. So what happened? Umar ibn Khattab said, okay, what else? And he started mentioning good things. That, for example, I walk in front of him at night, so he will not fall. I hold him from his hand. I do this, I do that. Then he mentioned something interesting that caught the attention of Umar ibn Khattab. How he prepares milk to his father. In the old days, they don't have fridges, right? Who likes to drink milk when it is cold? Do you like to drink when it is cold? Some people enjoy it. Okay. Now, in the old days, what do you think? People will prefer it when it is cold or hot? When it is very hot in the desert during the day. They prefer it cool down, right? So this is what Umayyah said. He said, I prepare special milk for my father. That at night, I come and I look at our camels. And I see the camel that has the biggest amount of milk. And I tie its knee. So it doesn't stand. In the morning before Salat al-Fajr, before Fajr, when people are sleeping, he says, I go and I come to the camel and I untie it, I take the camel to the water well. They don't have fridges. Look how he cools it down. He cools down like the milk. He said, I take it to the well. And in the morning, the water is cold. I take some of the cold water. And I wash the udder of the camel where the milk is. I wash like the udder of the udders of the camel. Then I milk it and I make a foam. So when he melts it in a certain direction to make a foam. Then I bring it to my father. When he finishes his Salat al-Fajr, I give him that milk that is cold a little bit and it has some foam on it. And my father drinks it. He said, Umar ibn Khattab, can you do that to me now? I said, let me go to my father. He said, no, I want you to do that for me now. So the son went and he found a camel that has some milk in it. And he went to the well and he started milking. He washing like the other. He kept washing until it cooled down. Then he milked and he made it like a foamy way. Then he brought it to Umar ibn Khattab. Meanwhile, Umar ibn Khattab asked somebody to bring the father from home. And the father came. When he arrived, Umar ibn Khattab said, put the son in the side here. He told the son to hide. And the father came. And when he arrived, Umar ibn Khattab told him, what is the best thing that you wish for now? What do you wish from this life? He said, I don't wish anything in this life now. He's very old, blind, the old man. He says, no, you have to wish something. What do you wish? He said, I wish that my son is beside me. He thinks that his son is very far, right? But he's beside him in the next room. He's hiding. Umar ibn Khattab told him to hide. He says, okay, may Allah make it easy for you. Hopefully he will get you together, you and your son. I want you to drink from this milk. And the father says, I don't want. I'm good. I don't feel like drinking or eating anything. He says, no. I swear by Allah that you have to drink from this milk. He said, okay. When they gave him the milk to the father, and he touched the bowl, and he smelled it, the moment his face, he is blind, right? The moment he got it closer to his face, he started shaking. He said, I smell my son in this milk. I feel that my son is near me from the milk. Because nobody will prepare the milk in this way, right? Making it cool and with the foam, with all of that. He started shaking. Then Umar ibn Khattab said, let the son come out. And the son came. And the father was almost crazy when he felt that his son beside him. Put the milk aside and he grabbed his son and he started kissing him and smelling him and kissing him. And both of them crying, the son and the father. Until they calmed down. Umar ibn Khattab started crying. And people around him in the sitting, they started crying. For this father who was so much attached to his son, and the son was attached to his father, so much to the point that even by touching the milk, smelling it, he knows that no one will do that except my son for me. Then Umar ibn Khattab looked at the son when he calmed down, and he told him, do you want Jannah? This is for the young man. The man, he said, do you want Jannah? And he said, yes, I want Jannah. He said, stick to your parents. The Jannah is there by his feet. Your father and your mother. Just be good to them and you go to Jannah. Don't travel very far, hundreds of miles away from your parents and saying, I want reward from Allah. The Jannah is here. If you are good to your parents, you will go to Jannah. And Umayyah continued to live with his parents, being good to them until both of them passed away, while they were happy that their son was near them and beside them. Which part of the story you like the most? And what lessons we learn from it? Which part of the story you like the most? Yes. Being good to your